to take an opportunity to introduce formally, many of you have had an opportunity to meet or see Stephanie Prowitz around the lake in the last year. She was here last year as part of our staff, helped us through a transition in our executive director and is now our executive director for the Green Lake Association. Stephanie has a tremendous amount of background in many of the issues that are facing the lake and has jumped in both feet to really engage herself not only in the business of the Green Lake Association but of the community and all of our partners. So we are very grateful to have her and her expertise. And I will turn it over to her to give you kind of an overview of what's been happening and where she sees the organization in the near term as well.
Thanks, Kate, and thanks to all of you for attending. I'm really happy to be part of this organization, and it's built on the shoulders of giants. So many of you have served on the Green Lake Association's board or been involved or volunteers in the past. So thank you so much for what you've done and what you continue to do. That being said, we're especially grateful to some of our directors who have reached the end of their term. Our bylaws have a term limit. I've seen Cindy Smith is here. So just if we could give a round of applause to Cindy for all that she's done. And John Lundstrom and John Nelson, who I didn't see, but it's possible that I missed. John Nelson, thank you very much. John Nelson. And I want to quickly acknowledge our returning directors. Kate Middlestat is president. Mike Maddock is vice president. Rich Dickard as treasurer. Marty Velasic is secretary. Tony Aiello, Phil Burkhart, Jennifer Hawley, and Bob Wallace are returning directors as well. So thank you very much. And last but not least, I just want to quickly acknowledge all the work that Paul Muir does, who's our communication project manager, who's in the back. So thank you. So as Kate mentioned, we just have a few logistics we have to get through because this is our annual meeting. So I want to briefly update you on our financial health. But I know we're anxious to get on to the rest of the program. There's nothing really surprising in our financials. We have a really solid and consistent financial standing. So thank you for that. One quick noteworthy item is that we did send out our leadership appeal at the end of the year a little bit later than previous years. So around $14,500 were donated in 2014 as part of that 2013 leadership campaign. So you'll notice that that's not accounted for in your end-of-year financials, but if things look a little bit short, it's just because of the timing of those donations. Lastly, I want to update you about some of our activities and priorities for the year that we've accomplished in 2013. Before we can really understand how our organization began and really how we have to evolve, I want to take a step back. So as many of you know, we began as a homeowners association in 1951 and had 73 original owners. And our efforts were focused on the enforcement of ordinances, signs at launch sites, our fisheries program, recreation. And then in 1961, there was a concern for water quality. Sound familiar, huh? And it spurred the creation of the Green Lake Sanitary District. And in 1975 was the big effort to install storm sewers around the system, around the lake. So we've always been concerned for water quality, but several years ago we realized we need to expand our focus beyond the perimeter of the lake. We need to start thinking about the entire watershed. And so with the sanitary district, with the DNR, with other lake partners, we developed the lake management plan for Green Lake. And this is a 20-year plan that outlines some of the challenges and summarizes our conservation efforts. It's an evolving document, but it's an important and initial first step in this evolving long-term investment for conservation and for improving our water. So since then, in 2014, we've been busy this year. I think we've already this year We have launched the virtual watershed tour, which maybe many of you have seen. There's a poster of it in the back, but this is an interactive online tour that gives videos and outlines challenges and opportunities for every single stream in Green Lake. And it's being, Ted has mentioned that's being mentioned at DNR statewide meetings as an example of a really good community education piece. We've stenciled storm drains in Green Lake and Ripon through help of our volunteers and students. This year we're really focused on the restoration of the County Highway K estuary. This is the southwest inlet on Green Lake, and it's home to many carp that are stirring up bottom sediments there. If you go out there, it's really easy to navigate because there are no plants, because plants can't grow there. And so we're really missing the benefits of this natural filter. It's estimated that if we can restore County Highway K, we can reduce phosphorus to the lake by 8% by doing one thing. It's huge when you're talking about best management practices. So we are working towards that with our lake partners this year. 100,000 pounds of carp were already removed this year from County Highway K, and we're going to be doing some other things later. But my point is just to say that we've been busy, we have a really good year ahead, but we also see an opportunity to evolve. Part of that is that we're sponsoring research this year on what's causing our dissolved oxygen problems. So we're happy to be working with a limnologist out of Trout Lake Research Station for that. Kate's going to be talking more about that, but I wanted to give you a brief overview of what we're doing. Kate's going to talk more about where we're headed. But now I want to really enter into the program part of our annual meeting, and we're really happy to have 3 speakers that are going to briefly talk, and then we'll have time for questions afterwards. So I'll introduce everyone right away, but first we'll have Ted Johnson, who is the lake biologist for the DNR. Ted is going to talk about what does it mean to be an impaired waterway, why was Green Lake listed as impaired, and what are some opportunities that come with impaired listing. And then James Ty is the co-founder and vice president of Clean Lakes Alliance. This is a nonprofit organization out of Madison, which started as a ski club, realized the water quality wasn't what they wanted to be, and they've transformed themselves into an example of what a nonprofit can do to collaborate partners and do amazing things to clean water quality. And then finally, Kate Middlestat, president, is going to talk about what does this mean for the Green Lake Association. So without any further ado, I welcome Ted Johnson to come and speak with us.